Hey guys, so we have another game sent to me by the player Facts. This one is a 2v2, and it was actually played on a tiny size map, so I'm actually really excited to comment on it. So let's do East and West. This is going to be a lot easier for me to commentate on. I hate commentating on games with 8 players, honestly. There's so much lag, and it's just stressful as fuck. So this is Nemezin in the Northwest. They're playing as the Persians. They are building their first house, and their women are gathering berries. They did not build a farmstead, so that probably means no berry upgrade. Cav is getting the chickens. Infantry are getting the trees close to the Civic Center. Very standard opener. Then we have Facts in the Southwest, playing as the ghouls. We have a farmstead, no berry upgrade. We have chickens being gathered, and we are straight away to a wood line. I always get the trees close to the Civic Center first, but Facts decided to get a house built and a storehouse, and they're going straight for a wood line. Then on Team 2 in the Southeast, we have Big Chungus, and they're going for a cav-heavy approach. They're going for all of the chickens with 5 cav right off the bat. And everybody else is on wood because these cav are going to be more than enough for, as far as, food goes, at least for the first couple minutes of the game. Then in the Northeast, we also have a very cav-heavy approach from ITALIANEMPORER. We already have 8, and they are already going for... Okay, no, they're hunting still, but I'm assuming we're going to get a very early rush. On this tiny size map, it makes sense to do a lot of rushing early on, I would say, because it's very easy to get to your opponent. So we should definitely watch out for these cav. There are 9 of them now, and they're popping out one at a time. This is going to be very dangerous for Nemezin. Apparently, one of the players threw a hissy fit in this game, and Facts told me that I'm going to guess which one. I'm going to go out on a limb and guess that it's Big Chungus just by the name alone. Okay, so he's already rushing, and he... Wow. That was not a smart move from Big Chungus. He got... Okay, so he lost one, and he actually killed 2, which is interesting, but, yeah, it's not really going to accomplish much if you send Lancer Cav straight in. The Lancer Cav are pretty much useless against, okay, so ITALIANEMPORER is in, and he is attacking Nemezin's women, and he's going to try and get him out. Okay, so he decided to, he decided to go straight in for a conflict with these 3 spearmen, which was not a good move. I was just saying, when it comes to Lancer Cav, you can't have them attack, spearmen and pikemen at all, because they have to take hits by definition. They're not like skirmisher cav who can keep at a safe distance away when they're attacking. So you need to be painstaking in terms of keeping those Lancer cav away from your spearmen and pikemen when you're doing a rush. So yeah, we have... So ITALIANEMPORER has already actually gotten 5 kills, yeah, which makes sense because he attacked the women. So Nemezin is definitely suffering at this point early on in the game. But he is somewhat prepared to defend against those Lancer Cav because he does have 5 spearmen already. Are they spearmen or pikemen? They're called shield bearers. They're spearmen. So spearmen have higher HP and lower attack power, whereas pikemen have the opposite. They both have very high HP, But spearmen do very little damage unless you're talking against cav, in which case spearmen or pikemen will annihilate cav really quickly. So we are trying to take Nemezin's sentry tower, and I think they're going to get it. You can't really build these sentry towers unless you plan on populating them. And rather than sending people into the sentry tower, he decided to attack the cav, which was a very bad move. He should have just sent those pikemen right into the tower. Now this is Italian Emperor's tower, and it's right on the border. It's actually encroaching inside of Nemezin's border, and it's completely denying him most of this wood line, which this early on in the game is going to be extremely deadly. Okay, so I'm changing my prediction, I think. Well, not prediction, because I'm not really going to know, because the chat logs aren't saved in the replay, but it seems like Nemezin is really getting his shit pushed in already this early in the game, so I'm going to say that it was probably him who was flipping out in the chat. So Italian Emperor is doing really well. He still has 8 of his cav. He technically has 9. I guess one of them is still hunting somewhere. And 26 pop. Facts is doing the best in terms of population. He is at 50 out of 50, and he's building a house right now, whereas Big Chungus is housed. So this is really a game between Fax and Italian Emperor. They're the players with real experience, whereas these two players, Nemezin and Big Chungus, are very new to the game. So it's interesting because in the south, Chungus is kind of attempting to go on the offensive, and he can't really do much at all, whereas Facts is booming. Whereas in the north, Nemezin is on the defensive, and Italian Emperor has been on the offensive for the most part. What's he doing now? He's bringing his territory through Big Chungus' territory. I think he's going to attempt a raid on Facts, but I doubt that it's going to go well. Okay, wow, he stumbled upon a bunch of women, so he was actually able to get a lot of hits in, and he was able to get his cav out of there. That's really good rushing tactics. Before a single hit was landed. So that's awesome. But Fax it's not really going to do that much to get in Fax's way, because Fax is booming extremely fast. He has double the population of the 2 other players who have the second most. The problem is his teammate, Nemezin, he's pretty much playing this game on his own, because pretty much all of Nemezin's units just got annihilated by Italian Emperor's Lancer Cav. And Italian Emperor, I think, just said, fuck it, even though these spearmen are strong against the cav, there are only 2 of them and 8 of the cav. So he figured, why not just finish the job, because if he does, he can take this storehouse and set Nemezin back even further. At this point, you could almost say that he's taken Nemezin entirely out of the game, because he still has all these calves, so any attempt from Nemezin to try to rebuild himself from the 6 pop that he's down to is going to be very easily thwarted. All he has is these 6 women. 1 of them is cutting wood, 5 of them are on the farm. He really should have pretty much all of them on wood. He should take all these off and get them cutting wood, and then maybe pop some new women out for the farm, because he has no wood at this point. And yeah, he needs, if he wants to have any hope, he needs to get some more spearmen out so he has any kind of defense against the cav. So, yeah, Big Chungus is doing a pretty decent job, actually. He's very protected from any danger that Fax might pose by the presence of Italian Emperor. sending these cav back and forth through this wood line where where the vast majority of his units are collecting wood. He's building a farmstead to expand out his... Okay, so he's a pretty decent player. He's expanding his farming infrastructure out to the east to kind of protect his women by keeping them far away from the front line. Now we have 5 women coming out, and yeah, we have a bit of a wood operation going on from Italian Emperor at this wood line. They're kind of sharing the wood line. Okay, so Fax seems to... For a second I thought he was... Okay, so this is a very smart move on Fax's part. He is building a full-on stone tower right up on Big Chungus' border because he wants to completely deny him of this wood line. It would be smart to get the upgrade that actually expands the range of this this tower, because he could pretty much completely deny Big Chungus more than half of the wood that's available to him. He still has this wood line, and the wood, I mean, these wood lines in this biome are very, like, you can get a lot of wood out of each tree. What is it? Each fir tree has 200 wood, and they're very dense. So this wood line will last him, like, pretty, like, into mid-game at least. But once that's gone, it's pretty much, that's it for him. So now we have Italian Emperor comfortably expanding his woodcutting operation even into Nemezin's territory because it's completely protected by this sentry tower that he stole early on. Now we have Italian Emperor going in and attacking Fax's women. He's going to get a couple of kills in. Yeah, Fax needs to ring that bell. I don't know what he's doing. Yeah, it took him way too long to ring that bell. Italian Emperor already has 38 kills. That's wild. And Fax has now officially lost more units than he has killed. Now we have a storehouse being built on this wood line. And we do have... Yeah, Fax completely owns this wood line. He's encroaching now into Italian Emperor's territory, which has kind of forced him to utilize this wood line up here in Nemezin's territory. He's done a really good job of claiming the center of the map, despite Italian Emperor's repeated rushes that he's been going in with. He's now up to 84 population. Italian Emperor is now housed at 50, and he seems to be down to only 7 cav. Yeah, that's correct. He's down to only 7 cav. So I'd say at this point it's still anyone's game. But between Big Chungus, who is definitely a newer player but doing decently for being a newer player, they definitely have the best shot. But, wow, very bold move on the part of Fax. He has gone in and he has taken this barracks. He should probably put some people inside of it to further secure it. But, yeah, that was a bold and... Yeah, the bold move, and the reason he was able to so easily take it is because this wood line that Italian Emperor is forced to utilize is so far to the north that to get anyone to defend the front line, he needs to send everybody a really long distance. But, yeah, like I said, Fax should have definitely populated this barracks, garrisoned it, I should say, when he took it over, because he could have really held that, he could have strongly held that barracks if he had put maybe 5 to 10 people inside of it, but and that would have been a huge position. He could have even built a defense tower right here, but now Italian Emperor has built a defense tower and pretty much denied Fax this area of his territory that he's kind of encroached into. So now we have Fax fighting off both Italian Emperor and Chungus at the same time, but he actually does have the benefit of numbers, so he is probably going to come out on top. I see why Fax sent me this game. He fucking owned. I predict that he's probably maybe going to win, honestly, even despite the fact that he doesn't really have a teammate. Yeah, because Italian Emperor has half his population, and Chungus has like a quarter of his population. That's fucking wild, man. Alright, so now we have a temple right up on the front line. Very good play on the part of Fact. And he is now stealing houses from Big Chungus, and Big Chungus is thoroughly... Okay, I guess Big Chungus just... Oh, no. Yeah, no, Big Chungus is now thoroughly housed. He is... Actually, he has more population than he even has Pop Cap, so... Yeah, Fax is playing this like a fucking G. So now he is able to utilize this metal mine. He has full possession of all of the wood in the center of the map. And yeah, Italian Emperor is actually running out of wood really fast. It's crazy. And as far as Big Chungus goes, he has only 15 infantry. Most of his population are women at this point. And I think he should definitely move some of these women from the farms onto the wood line because as far as wood goes, he's suffering. Fax is definitely building up a lot of resources in terms of both metal and wood, and it seems like he's utilizing the metal pretty effectively. He's training a lot of skirmishers. Does he have a, what do you call it? He doesn't have any military upgrades. I'm assuming he hasn't built a, what do you call that shit? A forge yet. And yeah, both of the players on Team 2 are still stuck in Phase 1. Now, Nemezin is even into Phase 2, so he was able to get there because Fax has kind of been keeping Italian Emperor on the ropes. So Italian Emperor is kind of... he did a really good job early on completely. He could have easily taken Nemezin completely out of the game if he kept the heat on. He got him down to 6 pop. He could have probably finished off those women if Nemezin was too slow. And he decided to do a raid, but instead he let Nemezin catch back up, and Nemezin is now actually caught up with Big Chungus in terms of population, which is just wild. He still doesn't have access to this wood line over here, but he actually has a lot of wood that, because Fax was able to claim all of the wood in the center of the map, Nemezin can now utilize a lot of this wood that really would have been Fax's. We're still in Phase 1 in terms of where Italian Emperor is at. He's building skirmishers 5 at a time out of the barracks. But yeah, Fax is just racing ahead. He has, let's see, 2 barracks, and he's producing batches of 4 units at a time out of each of them. He has a really good troop balance of skirmishers and spearmen. Spearmen, you need very few of them because they can suck up a huge amount of damage, but they don't do a lot of damage. So even though it seems like 65 skirmishers and 10 spearmen is kind of disparate, those 10 spearmen can suck up a ridiculous amount of damage while the skirmishers are behind them, doing most of the damage. So now we have Fax going We thought he was going on the offensive, but he's not. He's building an arsenal, so he's getting ready to get some siege going. If I were to guess, he would probably take down Big Chungus first, or maybe go for Italian Emperor first. I'm not sure. Big Chungus is a softer target. And Nemezin is doing a decent job for his rating of catching up. I would have built storehouses out towards this wood line so his troops have less of a distance to walk, but even so. And now, alright, so now we have Italian Emperor sharing this wood line with Big Chungus, because the wood was getting so far. I think he honestly could have stretched storehouses out and kept encroaching into Nemezin's territory, because this wood line is going to run out so fast with both players utilizing it, and that will leave Big Chungus with no wood to use. Yeah, I think Fax pretty much has this game in the bag at this point, because he's ultimately going to have more resources to work with, but I think it's probably not even going to get to that point, because he now has 2 rams and about 70 troops, and he's sending them in, taking down this sentry tower, and he's begun massacring the women. And we'll see if Italian Emperor can come in and try to rescue this situation. We have about 110, closer to 70 or 80 troops between the two of them, whereas Fax has about 74, so it's about even, but Fax has the rams as well that they have to contend with. And he has now taken control of Big Chungus's territory, so I'm assuming it was Big Chungus who was probably flipping out throughout this game. And we're probably going to see a resignation soon from Big Chungus. Although I noticed that a lot of times newer players will wait until every single unit is taken out and refuse to resign, even when they kind of should by any means resign. We have a second temple getting built right on the border of their territories. Fax now has control of the entire southern portion of the map, and his teammate has the northwest. He has completely pushed Italian Emperor into a corner. Italian Emperor no longer has access to this wood line. Yeah, I think it's pretty much game over at this point. Yep, Italian Emperor resigned, predictably, but Big Chungus is still trying to stay in it. Alright, wow. That was a good game. Good job, Fact. Alright, so we have... yeah, Fax 59-56. Nobody came close. That's fucking wild. Italian Emperor, definitely in the very beginning of the game, I really thought that he was going to run away with it, but nope. Like and subscribe and ring the bell if you want to see more videos. Always good sharing these replays with you guys, and I'll see y'all around.